Hey, welcome back. We're talking everything Mount Horeb today, but a little bit outside of Mount Horeb. About 5 minutes out, you can find the village of Blue Mounds, and they have some of the oldest cave formations that you can find anywhere in the Midwest. They're called the Cave of Mounds.
Yeah, and the cave is a natural limestone cave named for two nearby hills.
Yeah, it was discovered accidentally back in 1939 during a quarry blast on the Brigham Farm. It was opened to the public in 1940, since then becoming a popular destination. Now, it was designated a National Natural Landmark actually back in 1988 when I was 9 years old. Cave of Mounds formed more than over millions of years and showcases a variety of beautiful mineral formations. You can see hues of red, brown, blue, and gray, which are caused, actually, this is interesting, by the presence of minerals like iron oxide and manganese oxide. I almost said magnesium. It's manganese.
Manganese, that's right.
Yeah.
And Mount Horeb, like many other areas around the Dane County area, has an active biking community, and one program specifically works to get kids involved with mountain biking. Mount Horeb, MTB, is part of the National Intergalactic Cycling Association, which has teams all over the country. The Mount Horeb team is for students entering grades 6 through 12 in Mount Horeb, Barneveld School District. The team's coach says it's a great opportunity for all kids of all abilities.
To build not just athletes, it's really not what it's about, but to really build character and find a lot of value in riding. Our riders become really good friends, not only with each other, but riders on other teams throughout the state. And they set goals throughout the season and really just work to become a better human.
And they have almost 2,000 riders across the state of Wisconsin. The season runs from July to mid-October and offers optional opportunities to complete the festivals on weekends. The registration deadline is July 1st, and you can find that online at driftlessmtb.org.
Well, hey.